Austen Brantley is a young sculpting talent who is taking the local and national art scene by storm over the last few years. Here's his story.
When Laura came in, I wanted to capture a certain depth that I think that she has as an actress. I picked a pose that was sort of sad and sort of depressed, even though my motto isn't. I picked that pose because I wanted to convey, just in my mind, I wanted to convey, like in my series, that all these pieces have in common is that they're sort of sad and isolated, and they're trying to understand why this is happening, why, and they're confused. These characters are confused because they're trying to know who they are, trying to get out of bad situations and live, explore, but they can't. I think of, like with the isolation and breaking out, I think a lot about Detroit because just in general, that's where we are. We're breaking out. We are coming out of our shells, our cocoons, and we are becoming culturally aware and very much expressive. And not just arts, but everything.
There's something about the figure that just we all can relate to, and it's so appealing. And to do it well is really, with expression, is really admirable, and it's a challenge. He's just such a young, he's so young. I think that's the thing that flabbergasts me. He's so young to be pulling this out and doing this. I mean, he's only 18, for Pete's sake. And he's got such skills. I mean, he's not perfect yet. None of us are, but still, what he is pulling out of the clay, different personalities, different emotions and expressions, it can only get better. It's only going to get better.
Before sculpting, I was in the athletics. I also played the alto sax and band and stuff like that. I was musical. I tried everything. I just wanted to find what I wanted to do, really. I just played with clay a lot when I was probably about 15 years old, and I got in a ceramics class, and I just liked playing with the clay. I didn't get the same satisfaction as making a pot as I did just making a face. There was this is so new, this type of satisfaction was so rare to me because I've always been a perfectionist, but I didn't know I could really sculpt. I never knew I could sculpt. It was like, I looked at sculptures before and I was like, how are those even made? And then I started doing it, and it's a completely weird experience, really.
I first met Austen when he stepped into my ceramics class one day. He popped his head in and kind of waited around till there was a break, and he came up to me and introduced himself, and he said he was working on some sculpture and he was wondering if I could give him some feedback on his sculpture. And he had 3 sculptures set up, and it really surprised me. It knocked me over, actually, because he is so young and his sculptures were so developed this is his first sculpture class, basically, as I understood it, and I was just in awe.
I think at first, I even thought it was sort of like a hobby, and then other people did, but I sort of really thought that it could really mean something different.
I feel that Austen has a really important role to play, and this was made clear to me when I went to the NCECA conference this year, which is the conference for ceramic education in the arts. And there's thousands of people there, and the keynote speaker is Theaster Gates, who is a well-known sculptor. And he had an inspiring talk where he spoke about how important the diversity is and how we all have this calling. I was just like, Austen, I know, I should bring Austen here. You know, we all have choices in life, and he has chosen the human figure and working with the human emotions. And I admire him for that, and it's a real gift. And yes, I think he has a role to play to all young people in this.
When I'm looking for inspiration, I'm looking for something deeper, something emotional. I try and do the classic tradition, but also mix up my own sort of style into it. I look online for source material, or if I see a face that that I think is interesting, I'll grab that model, or I'll just draw that face, or I'll just imagine that face when I'm sculpting, and then I sort of put that into the clay. Not just making a sculpture or doing a portrait, but making a statement is one of the most important things to me. Just as people, we can find something that we really love. It's just the satisfaction of being able to display your thoughts in a three-dimensional form. It's just, it's really great that I can just sort of talk through the clay. I get to just put everything that's in my mind into that piece of clay. I completed this sculpture. It's called I Exist. It represents American slavery and just a human being feeling the need to display that he exists, that he's shouting out, he's reaching out to show that he is here, that he is a being too. Just the overall expression of it is refreshing to me, because it didn't even take me that long to sculpt it. The idea was so inspiring in my mind that it was so easy.
That to me exhibits this hunger that he has and this passion for his art and craft. He has visited any number of well-known artists locally. I know he just recently got back from Toledo visiting an artist.
I met a master sculptor. His name is Woodrow Nash, and the most memorable thing that he told me is that the clay will reveal itself to me, that I have to discover myself in the clay, I have to discover my own voice in the clay, and that I'm only limited by my own ability to create. And when I heard that, I just it's like, this is what I want to do, this is where I belong.
I love his pieces actually in the raw state. That's probably my favorite point, is as they are emerging out, there's something in that leaves, that's a mystery to it that you also wonder about. And I like that part of his work where he is putting expression in, but then at the same time, he's letting the clay show the natural physical properties of the clay.
I really believe in conquering your fears and also getting through obstacles. Just for every person, I think every person has it different, but I think every person is trying to get where they want to in life. And to be able to actually sculpt it out, like when I'm actually sculpting something, I'm sort of sculpting my life. I'm making it.
So how nice is it to cruise down the streets of downtown Plymouth and see a legendary painting from Van Gogh? What? Wow.